It's an utterly nondescript Wednesday, which pretty much describes every single day for me. Afternoon. And the type of afternoon that would completely fade from memory unless one made an active effort to preserve it. As has become routine on Wednesdays, you're sitting on the couch of Dr. Melville's office. To your mild surprise, she begins the session by breaking her characteristic therapist's silence and begins speaking up right away. I wanted to start off by saying I think it's great you decided to come and see me. It's an incredibly important first step, she begins. I wanted to take some time today to talk to you about the possibility of supplementing or substituting your treatment with medication. Mention of medication makes your ears perk up and you feel your heart rate increasing. She continues. Many people find adding a pharmacological element to their treatment to be very helpful, and some even prefer to take drugs, completely eliminating their need to visit a therapist at all, providing you rely on your support network and are still reaching out to people. I would prefer if we keep talking, should you choose to start medication, so that I can monitor your progress and adjust as needed, but the choice is ultimately yours. I just wanted to run the option by you to gauge what your thoughts on the matter might be. Dr. Melville have just given you a lot to think about. What do I do? Oh, I have all the options this time. I have not changed, alright. Accept a prescription as a way to augment your therapy. Tell her you like to try drugs instead of therapy. These weekly sessions have always made you a little more than uncomfortable. Thought of messing with your brain chemicals makes you uneasy. You'll stick with the therapy. This whole therapy thing has always overwhelmed you, and this is the final straw. You're done with both. I don't know if I would go as far as 4, but I definitely would not pick number 1. Which is the kind of thing that I would assume that I would think would actually be crossed out, but it's not for some reason. Although I wouldn't go as far as number 4. I would say I would probably tell her that, but not actually be done with it. Number 2, I probably would be as depressed as taking just drugs every morning and not talking to someone. But number 3, the thought of messing with your brain chemicals makes you uneasy. I wouldn't say, think of I'll stick to the therapy. I would just cut it off at makes me uneasy. So I'm going to pick number 3. The mere mention of medication makes you stiffen uneasily. Hard enough for you to work up the nerve to start coming to therapy, but the thought of introducing into the equation that drugs literally alter the chemicals in your brain totally freaks you out. You may feel somewhat honor-bound to Amanda to keep up with your therapy, but you draw the line at ingesting any sort of chemical that you can't buy at a liquor store. It's Wednesday evening and you're visiting your parents' house for a holiday. One of the handful of times during the year you drove out to visit your old hometown, and you've seen random people you had gone to school with around town. Whenever bumping into them, the usual sharp versions of what you've done since graduating are exchanged. You run through a few of these today and have been very aware of how much you feel like you haven't accomplished. When you were in high school, you had much larger plans. You feel like you failed to manifest most of them. Even if you had managed to, you've largely lost interest in what you thought you wanted to do growing up. Now you're not even really sure what you want to do, and you felt like you're lacking the ambition to drive to figure it out. Everyone you've caught up with seems so much happier than you. They've got their lives all figured out, and you've been a kind of failure, feeling like a failure by comparison. Your brother Malcolm arrives with his wife shortly in tow before you all sit down to dinner. He's been traveling for his job lately, and you haven't seen him since the day he picked you up from the dentist. Your parents haven't seen him since before then. During dinner, they all catch up and Malcolm talks about the amazing things he's done on the road. Your mother turns to you and asks what you've been up to since you've seen him last. Oh, same old, you say. Nothing really new. Oh, nothing new? How long are you planning on staying in that job of yours? Doing the exciting new job I'm getting for, which is a lie. Tell them that what they want to hear, that you're actively looking for a more prestigious position, and that you don't know what you want to do. Excuse yourself to the bathroom. So I'd probably sarcastically say number 1, but since I can't choose that anyways, and it's obviously not meant to be a sarcastic answer, I wouldn't lie, and I wouldn't excuse myself in the bathroom, but I really wouldn't really admit that I don't want to do. I'd probably just go, I don't know, some stuff, maybe some things. So number 3. Actually, you start sheepishly. I'm not really sure what I want to do right now. Your mom puts down her fork. So what, you're planning on living the way you do for the rest of your life? How would you afford a house on that paycheck? What about kids? Your father interrupts, lightly placing his hand over your mother's. It's okay, Linda. Let the kids be what they are. There's nothing wrong with not knowing what you want to do in your 20s. I didn't get into construction until I was nearly 40. What did you do for the other 40 years? What? Well, I guess the other 30, the other 25, the other 15, the other 15, the other like 20 or so. Yeah, whatever. Your mother looks across the table at you, unsatisfied with her husband's reasoning. I don't think it's normal for someone at that age to not have a path. You need to think hard about it, or you'll never make anything of yourself. Mom, come on, Malcolm interjects. This emotionally exhausts you. You want to tell her that you are thinking hard, and that not knowing what you're doing with yourself bothers you more than it could ever bother her. That sometimes it feels like you're lost in the woods, and that if you were to drop dead in your apartment, the world wouldn't notice. You want to make her understand that more often than not, you feel like an alien, like there isn't anywhere in this world that feels like a place where you belong, and you have no idea how to fix it or what to do. You wish you could find the words so she would understand what being looked down on for this kills you and drives home the feeling of being a total outsider. Instead, you get very quiet for the rest of the meal while your mind goes numb. Everything inside you feels exhausted. I'm very depressed. Now, you spent some time on the therapist's couch. You're having difficulty finding the motivation to continue the sessions. It's a rainy night. You are hurrying through the rain to Alex's apartment at her behest. Though your pace is quick, the rain is steadily soaking up your pant legs as you traverse the town, darkening your already poor mood. The call came where you're at home after a day of dealing with abnormally frustrating people. You'd spend the afternoon trying to unwind and get some work on your project done. Alex called and interrupted you. One of you trying to make progress, get frustrated at not making progress, have a harder time making progress due to frustration, repeat loops. Sounds about right, and you haven't fully shaken off the feeling of being annoyed with yourself from it yet. You knock on the door, and on the third knock, her voice calls from further away in the apartment as you come in. As you cross the threshold, dripping rainwater all the way, you notice the lights are turned down very low in the apartment. You squint. Oh god! Sexy times incoming. You squint to navigate it as you clutch onto your damn umbrella, but end up hitting your shit on the side table. God damn it! Muffling profanity under your breath. Yep. You barely make up Alex emerging from the hallway, clad in what looks like to be a robe with the bare skin of legs peering out underneath them. I knew it! Why don't you come in and warm up? She asks in her designated, slightly cheesy, sexy voice. After a beat of silence, okay, I would probably just stand there and just stare at her. Like, what are you doing? After a beat of silence, she states more naturally, my roommates are out of town this weekend, so I thought it might be nice to have a little fun while they're away. You appreciate her affection, but you're too wrapped up in your own negative feedback loops to be in the mood right now. What do? Alright, I haven't changed. Let go of your stress and be intimate with your girlfriend. Trying to unwind with her before getting physical. Suggest you do something else instead. Tell her you're not in the mood. Well, if I made my way all the way over here and now I'm soaked, I probably wouldn't tell her that I'm not in the mood. And I probably wouldn't suggest that we do something else, so I'm just gonna go with number 2. You look at her standing barely lit and notice there's a few candles scattered around the apartment. It occurs to you that she has tried to make this night special for the two of you, even though you have a tight knot of antisocial frustration in your stomach. Seeing how much she cares makes you want to try to melt it away so you can show her how much you care that she's gone through all this trouble. However, you desperately need to shift gears first before that's even possible. You look amazing. Let's have a drink together, you suggest, hoping this will get you the push that you need to get into the mood. Go into the kitchen, pour the two of you drinks, trying to focus on letting go of your mad mood. You sit down on the couch next to her and she cuddles up to you instantly. What should we toast to? She asks. She takes her drink. You think for a moment, passing up the cheesy to us option. You say what's on your mind, letting go of your bad day. To tonight. That's equally as cheesy. The two of you cheers and you ask about her day, conversation turns flirtatious, and the two of you find yourself in the bedroom shortly after. Ho, 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 Merry Christmas. That is... Alright. Let's just ignore that just happened. Next. Oh, I am depressed. Oh, I've gone up. This one is slightly darker. So, I don't know if that's... But these have gone back up to the way they were before, so that's good, I guess. It's early winter evening, and though it's not particularly late, the time of year has lent the sky an almost premature darkened cast. Day after day... It's like someone was opening a squeaky door. Day after day, just like today, you trudge home from a job you're increasingly come to hate. On this day, your job misery seems to have reached critical mass, and not even shredding your rain-laden, comfortable work clothes helps you unwind from your work day. You collapse into the couch, blank and numb. While your job always seems to be just an unpleasant reality of existence, it was a position you sort of fell into unexpectedly, never intending to work there long term. It's getting harder and harder to keep it up. While it's certainly not your dream job, you always just sort of stuck it out of necessity before, but it's becoming increasingly difficult to do that. Though you couldn't even begin to imagine what else you could do, you find yourself face to face with a question you can't ignore. Is your complacency worth the price of this level of misery? What do I do? Get proactive, polish off the resume, and start looking for other jobs to send feelers out to. No. So I haven't changed, thankfully. So now number one. Try and at least be productive by focusing your efforts on your project tonight. Aimlessly look through Classified for another job. Turn on the TV and let your mind go blank. That hum of the fluorescent lights in my right ear. God. I probably just aimlessly look through them like I do with Craigslist. I kind of just aimlessly look through Craigslist and stuff sometimes. Generally just like the free section. Boot up the computer and navigate to the local Craigslist. Haha! Sift through a myriad of legitimate postings, clear pyramid scams, and the occasional miscategorized random personal ad. You look through the section that is in line with your current job and start feeling a bit of despair. Would things really be any different if you're simply doing the same thing somewhere else? You email your resume. Whoa, I wouldn't go that far. I would just aimlessly search. You email your resume to a few of the postings after coming up with a cover letter that you could use for a variety of things. After you've exhausted the postings for the last few days, you head back to the main page. There's a section that's more in line with the project you've been doing, though it's a highly competitive creative field that you don't feel remotely qualified for. Despite that, you click on the section, scrolling through the postings. You daydream about actually holding a position where you would get to do something more meaningful. Despite feeling completely intimidated by the requirements, you find a listing you actually want to apply for. You spend an hour crafting a really personal cover letter and really giving it your all to the task, and nervously send off the email. You're rather convinced you'll never hear back from any of these places, but the act of trying to change your situation instead of stewing on it actually feels quite freeing. You find yourself trying to stifle the hope that you end up getting the creative job, but it still manages to bubble away. How the fuck am I gonna do this? Whoa! It's a little past 8 p.m. on a Tuesday night. You're at your computer, frustration levels peaked, rubbing your eyes and sighing heavily. You're working on a project from your job that has you stretched at wit's end, trying to meet a looming deadline, and as it lurks closer and closer, you're seriously doubting your ability to get it done. You're dragging your feet a little at work due to your complete lack of energy lately, and despite of wanting to do a good job, you find yourself unable to push past it, feel horribly useless for it. You slide your hands off your face and look at the screen as it beeps at you. Hey, are you there? I really need to talk to someone about something. I feel like you're getting nowhere with your task and you probably use a break. However, you know that you have a history of getting distracted and then losing motivation to pick something back up afterwards. So always? What do? Multitask? Nah, bro. Okay, so I haven't changed. Tell Attic you're busy. Try to regain your focus. Don't answer. Answer, Attic. Hey man, you're feeling like you've hit a brick wall with your task, so why not take a break and help out a friend? Hey, what's up? Oh god, you're there. Just felt that I got cheated on and don't know what to do. Oh no, that's horrible. The two of you talk for a long time, and you lend a shoulder to your friend. You give him space to rant, to cry, and most importantly, to be able to voice his inner turmoil. You give him your full attention and ask him through what his options are for what he does next. Keep him from doing something rash, and the two of you decide it's best for him to sleep on it before doing anything. Exhausted, he departs for bed and thanks you for being there to talk to him. You close the iron window, feel horribly sorry for your friend, but happy that you were able to help. Serves as a tangible reminder to you that you're capable of being useful to someone instead of solely being a mess that needs everyone else's help.